Hey guys, so it has been a minute since I have just sat down and talked to you guys, and it's been a minute since I've just talked to you guys and not had like a scripted video or pre-planned video. And I do have bullets of things that I kind of want to talk about today, so it's not just me rambling about things, but I just felt like sitting down, no makeup, just us hanging out, and you know, like we're hanging out in this quarantine and talking a little bit about it. So if it is something that causes a lot of anxiety in you right now, then please take care of yourself. I'm not gonna like talk too much about it, but you know, it's gonna be a topic about quarantine and things. So if that, you know, is something that upsets you, then, you know, this video isn't gonna be for you, and that's okay. I totally understand wanting to avoid a lot of discussion about it because it does cause a lot of anxiety for a lot of people right now. I kind of wanted to have like a mental health chat about this like quarantine and give you guys an outlet in the comments for you to discuss how you're feeling about it, because I think a lot of us anticipated us feeling differently than we are right now, and that's definitely true for me because going into it I really thought that this was gonna be my most productive time. I was gonna have so much time to plan videos and things, and honestly my lifestyle hasn't changed that much, right? I have always worked from home, and as an introvert, rarely left my apartment anyways. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if any other introverts are like this. I think the first stage or phase of emotions going through this quarantine and, you know, the situation in the world right now, a lot of us were kind of relieved that we had the opportunity to stay home all the time. And I think for a lot of people, it's causing a lot of anxiety in that they are forced to not leave. Like, it's not that you want to leave, it's that when you're told you can't leave, that's when you want to leave, right? Does that make sense? Even for introverts, it's like after a certain point we're getting tired. At least for me, it's been weeks now that I've been in my house and haven't seen my friends or family. Well, I kind of saw my mom, but I'll get to that. So the waves of emotions I've kind of gone through in this time is kind of relief. It's like, all right, I'll just stay inside all the time. That's no problem. I do that anyways, not a big deal. And then it's like, I can't leave. Like, I really can't leave. And then you get anxiety in like the third week that you have to leave because you have to go to the grocery store. And then you have this anxiety because it's been going on for a minute. How long is this gonna last exactly? Like, how long are we gonna have to be inside for? And I think even introverts are hitting that point. Now, I'm really not trying to be yet another YouTuber that's complaining about not being able to leave, because I recognize my privilege in all of this, and I do not take for granted the fact that I work from home and I still have a job when so many people do not. I am so unbelievably grateful that I have the chance to work through this and that it's not really impacting my life directly. And I just want you to know that I have gratitude for that every single day, and it does feel like I'm taking it for granted because I'm not using this time to work from home. I am not using this time to be productive in any way, really. But you know what? That's okay. But my anxiety has been so bad lately, and I really thought that this could be like a really healing time for me to focus on myself, and I am taking that time, and I just hope that that's okay, because we all need to be putting our mental health first these days, because otherwise we could spiral, and we just can't have that happen right now. You know, you think about worst case scenarios of what's happening, and you literally have no control over pretty much anything right now, and that is such a horrifying feeling. Some of you know, if you follow me on social media, my mom actually had a scare that has really made me take it seriously. Not that I wouldn't anyways, you know, I'm not leaving my house for fun or anything except for going on a little walk around the block. That's about it. But in February, I think it was late February when this all kind of started and we weren't meant to be quarantined or anything. We weren't on lockdown yet. My mom was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, and it was because of her blood sugar. She is diabetic and she had super high blood sugar. She didn't know who the president was. It was very horrifying. I wasn't there because I don't live with my parents, but Bill, my stepdad, called me when it happened. And the next day I went to visit her in the hospital, and they kept her because she had symptoms of a respiratory illness, which was actually the same illness my stepdad just had and was still coughing from. So you see where this is going. So when I was in the room, this nurse came in and like yelled at me for not wearing a mask, and I just did not even realize that I was supposed to, even though there was like a sign. Anyway, put on a mask, and they told me, you need to leave. Like, I would not recommend you staying here in this room right now. So I was getting ready to leave. I was saying goodbye to my mom, and then another nurse comes in and she's like, I need you all to stay in this room for just a little bit. And I was like, okay. So she shuts the door, and I was literally about to leave. And then we wait for about 5 minutes, and then she comes back, and it was so scary. She was like, because you have a respiratory illness, we have to test you. This is to my mom, obviously. We have to test you for corona. And my mom was so calm about it. She is such like a practical lady. She's just like, oh yeah, of course, yes. Anyway, they moved my mom to isolation, and we didn't see her for 5 days. And she didn't see anyone except nurses for 5 days. And they fed her like worse than prison food. It was horrible. And that's how long it took in the early stages of this happening. And when I tell you my anxiety was at its peak in this time period, oh my gosh, guys. I mean, thank God it was negative and she didn't have it, but my mom is in her 60s and has slight COPD, the onset of COPD, and she's a smoker and diabetic, and so she has told me she probably wouldn't survive it if she did get it. So for me, that's why I'm taking it seriously, because I am grocery shopping for them, right? Both my parents are in their 60s, and I don't feel comfortable with them going to the grocery store right now by themselves. So I go for them and bring them food. So that's like another level of anxiety for me, and why I'm really not leaving my house at all. And it just really, it makes me overthink everything, honestly. And I'm not trying to sit here and like cause panic or fear monger or things like that. I'm just talking about my mental health and where I'm at mentally in all of this, and it's really therapeutic for me. So please feel free to do the same down below. We're just talking about the reality of the situation, and I'm also trying to use my platform to talk about how you should be taking this seriously. I cannot tell you how aggravated I am by influencers not taking this seriously and going outside still to this day. Blows my mind. You have tons of people who are looking at you every day, and if they see you going outside, some people are gonna think that it's okay for them to go outside too, and it's not okay for anyone to be going outside or going to visit your friends right now. So basically, just know if you're dealing with a mental illness right now in this current situation, you're not alone, and I feel you, and I am here for you, and I understand. On the upside, my seasonal depression isn't that bad this year. It's been pretty sunny. It's only rained like 5 days so far this year, so we're doing okay. So another thing I wanted to talk about is I've been seeing a lot of posts from people saying that they are just chilling right now, right? We're just chilling in our apartments and not being productive. And I want to remind you that that is a-okay. Literally the whole world is going through this right now. So this is the time to take for yourself, for your mental health, because this is a stressful time for literally everyone. If it is all you can do to move from the bed to the couch, if you don't leave your bed all day and it is the most you can do is to get through it and just survive the day, that is okay. I mean, ideally we would take this time to work on new hobbies or existing hobbies, or be productive in some way, work on ourselves, right? Meditate, you know, journal, but some days that's just too much to ask, right? I think we're all kind of in an adjustment period right now, and this kind of change in our lives is going to take time to adjust to, and that is perfectly okay. If you need to take the first month of this whole situation to better yourself and focus on your mental health and put yourself first and do whatever you feel up to that day, and you don't feel like pushing yourself or trying to work on hobbies or just other mundane things, then that is okay. I know so many of you are stressed about so many things right now, so it's okay to not force yourself to do things that you just don't feel up for. Now, that being said, I do want to share some things that I'm personally doing or going to try to do, at least from here on out, because I've kind of reached the point in time where I'm getting kind of adjusted to this current situation. Obviously I'm filming a video today. I'm feeling a little bit better. I just didn't feel right going back to like regular programming though. So I wanted to sit and chat about where I've been at and why I haven't posted a video last week or anything like that. So we will reach a point in time where we want to do a little bit more than bare minimum, right? We want to push ourselves to feel better in some capacity instead of just kind of doing nothing, you know, having weeks of doing nothing, although it's great, feels amazing sometimes, we will want to get to a point where we will want to push ourselves to do a little bit more. So there are some things that I'm doing, try to make life feel a little bit more normal, and they're generic. I'm not gonna lie. Some of these things are a little generic and you've probably heard them all before, and it's gonna be lame advice for right now, but I do hope you're open to hearing what I'm doing and take it as a little bit of advice for when you're feeling up to doing a little bit more with your days. So I think it was like the first and second week of all of this going on when I was just stuck at home is when I like nested. I was like nesting hardcore. We've lived here for years, but I've just been like more nesting, rearranging things, cleaning. I clean every single day because we are staying inside, and so our environment should be a place where we want to be. We don't want our environment to cause even more stress on us, so I have been tidying and cleaning what I can throughout the day and focusing a lot on that, honestly, because when my space feels like home and I'm happy in it, it makes it so much easier to spend all day in it. And that's honestly the next thing that I wanted to talk about is gratitude. And again, like I said, little cringy, little generic, but gratitude is huge in a time like this. I am recognizing every single day the privilege that I have in so many things, like the fact that I work from home and continue working throughout this, the fact that I live with my boyfriend and get to have time with him all the time and have someone to be around, because social connection is so important even in a time like this. You know, I'm grateful for my cats because they have gotten me through some dark days. They offer a great distraction to play with them. Sometimes I'll let Pepe roam outside in the grass out here, and it just brings me so much joy to be around them. So I'm so grateful. Obviously being grateful for the things that we do have, like food, a shelter, we have entertainment, we have internet and electricity, we have board games. We've been working on a puzzle lately, and every time I work on that puzzle, I'm so happy and so grateful for those little moments of just like slowness. Does that make sense? When I'm not on social media and I'm just focusing on something else besides the world. Another thing that I'll do on somewhat good days, on days where I want to be slightly productive in that I am cleaning and possibly thinking about working on a video, but that's pushing it a little bit sometimes. I get ready, and by get ready, I literally mean I do my hair, like I'll straighten my hair a little bit like I did today. Most of the time still means no makeup. I have worn makeup here and there. I wore makeup on my birthday to just make me feel a little bit better. That's the other thing. I celebrated my 30th birthday in quarantine. It was on the 19th, and that was honestly really perfect. I originally wanted to see Harry Potter in theaters because my favorite Harry Potter movie was in theaters, and we were thinking about going to Napa to go to a winery and go wine tasting, and there were just things that we wanted to do for my birthday, and I had to be okay and accept the fact that that's just not gonna happen for my 30th. And let me tell you, my 30th birthday will forever be remembered as this quarantine birthday. We really did make the most of it though. I watched the Harry Potter movie still at home. I made my favorite food, spaghetti and Brussels sprouts, all homemade. So it honestly wasn't a bad birthday. And I mean, I am an introvert, so I'm okay with staying at home for my birthday. And honestly, that's what I do almost every year anyways. So it really didn't feel that different for a birthday, but the fact that it was my 30th, I wanted to do a little something, but that can be postponed. I'll also be celebrating my anniversary in quarantine and Ryan's birthday in quarantine, so what are you gonna do? Anyway, but putting on actual pants most of the days really helps, even if it's just leggings, because sometimes you just feel good, like feel like a fit in a legging, and sometimes that is a little bit more effort than sweatpants or pajama pants, which is, you know, what I live in most of the time when I'm at home working from home. But just putting on pants it really makes a difference. So like I mentioned, the weather's been really nice and I try to take advantage of that, and I will try to leave the house for 20 minutes for a local neighborhood walk, and that has been so amazing. I highly recommend moving a little and getting a little exercise, even if it's just a 10-minute walk around your block. Like, I cannot tell you how much it helps to go outside and look at the trees. Like, I will stare at the trees as I'm walking, because just looking at trees has been proven to reduce your stress levels. So definitely recommend doing a little bit of that. Cooking. I've been focusing so much on food. I mean, I love cooking. I've always loved cooking. It's one of my favorite hobbies. Oh my gosh, it's like my happy place is in the kitchen. So obviously if you don't like cooking or you don't think you're good at it, I don't know if this advice is going to be great for you, but I highly recommend trying out new recipes and just getting in there and getting creative in your cooking. It's my favorite time of the day when I get to get in the kitchen and cook up something, and I just like make stuff up. I don't know. Here's some of the meals that I've been eating lately in quarantine. I think I'm going to start a Twitter thread of the food that I'm eating in quarantine, just to give you guys some ideas, I guess. Also, does anyone know where my mug is from? If you do, we're best friends now. I don't make the rules. So those are kind of the things that I try to do every day. On the good days, I have my days. I don't even want to call them bad days, because there's no such thing as like good and bad days right now in quarantine. It's just days. It's just days. Whatever we're doing, that's okay. But I definitely have my days where I just watch documentaries all day. I'll watch reality TV again, like rewatch things that I've already seen. I've obviously been watching a lot of movies in quarantine. Here's some of the movies I've watched so far in quarantine. I also made a bunch of lists. You can check out my social media, but here's an updated Netflix list if you need some Netflix recommendations. These are non-horror as well. There's horror mixed in there too, but horror and non-horror, these are the best movies streaming on Netflix right now, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm watching Tiger King documentary. That highly recommend if you're not getting on the bandwagon with that, because that'll give you many hours of weird entertainment. Also, I just watched these two documentaries on Amazon Prime, and I recommend both. It's weird to say recommend because they're tragic, but interesting. Anyway, so for extras, things that I like to do to like spice up my days a little when I'm feeling a little bit, I don't know, daring, want to do a little extra something. Not biting my nails. I'm trying to stop biting my nails in this quarantine time. I still bite, this is gonna be really gross, I'm sorry, but I pick at the skin around my nails. I've done both for 25 years. So it's been a very bad habit. Now you're just gonna be staring at my nails the rest of the video, but that's okay. So I am trying to stop biting my nails, doing a little something, which is very hard when you have anxiety, to not bite your nails. Well, I mentioned movies. That is something that isn't really an extra, but I like to keep track of movies that I've been watching, and also making lists of movies that I want to watch, or shows or something. So if there's like movies you've always wanted to watch, or classics you feel like you've missed out on, now is a great time to do that. One thing that's been proven to be so hard, which I did not think it would be that hard for me, to be honest, is spending time away from a screen. Like, obviously we're surrounded by screens all day, every day, and even at home we're constantly on our phones, and that's just not healthy, especially in a time like this. So I'm trying to spend a little bit of time every day off of a screen, right? Reading more, like actual books, my puzzle, like I mentioned. Also, one of these days I am going to attempt to have an actual break from social media. I don't know if I'll go so far as to delete the apps off my phone. I've always wanted to do that though, but I'm worried I'm not gonna remember the passwords and it's gonna be a headache to get back in, but that's honestly why I haven't deleted my apps. But I do wanna try a day where I'm just not on social media. Maybe still on my phone. I've been playing phone games. Here's the phone games I've been playing. I'm just giving you all the things to do in quarantine. But yeah, spending time away from your phone, away from social media, especially because it's so hard to avoid a lot of this discussion that's happening. And honestly, it's a great thing that we have so much information out there, but it can be so overwhelming in a time like this. So put yourself first, put your mental health first, take care of yourself, and even if you have to force yourself to put your phone down, do it. Speaking of social media, take this time to do a cleanse. Unfollow a bunch of people that just don't inspire you anymore. If that's me, that's okay. If you want to unsubscribe, I'm not bringing it for you, that's totally fine. You deserve to follow the people that inspire you the most, that will keep you entertained at this time, that will, I don't know, there's more than that people do on social media, but you know what I mean. Educate, Will they educate you, make you a better person? Honestly, it doesn't have to be that deep though. Sometimes we just follow people because their pet is cute or their house looks good. This would also be a great time to do just a general technology cleanse. I'm gonna try to do that myself. I think I have 60,000 emails in my inbox. I'm not lying. So will I ever get through that? Probably not. I'm just gonna make a new email one of these days. But for now, I might go through, you know, a couple thousand. I don't know. Also, deleting photos and videos off your phone and screenshots that you took that never looked at again. Delete some of those. Also, I want to remind you that it's okay to take breaks from the news. You do not have to stay hyper informed right now. Like, it's okay to go a couple days without knowing the current numbers or what's happening in the world, because yes, it's bleak right now. Like, it's not great. So taking a couple days off and focusing on your small little world inside your house, that is okay. And honestly recommended. I highly recommend doing that. I need to do that. Obviously now is a great time to get back to abandoned hobbies. Again, these are extra things that when you're feeling up to it, you do, right? You don't have to force yourself to do these every single day and be productive like people are preaching on the internet. It's okay to not be productive and not do anything all day. But when you feel like it, sometimes hobbies are a good outlet. Like, I have abandoned embroidery in my room. I could probably start doing that and, you know, use this time to like learn how to do that. Ryan and I are thinking about learning Spanish. I don't know why, I just feel like it'd be cool to know Spanish. I took a lot of Spanish in high school and still remember a lot of it because my mom used to speak it to me all the time when I was growing up, so I feel like I have retained a lot of Spanish. Also, it's just a good language to know, especially in California. Honestly, even if you're not like an artist or don't do anything creative, just doodle on a paper with some music playing. Whatever takes your mind off the current events and makes you focus on something else, anything else than what's happening, is fine. Even if it's dancing, learn TikTok dances. Do that, I don't know. I feel like I'm too old to do that, but you know, I still do some of them sometimes in my kitchen when I'm cooking, so. Now obviously this kind of advice, I hate calling it advice because it just feels preachy right now, right? To be like, do this, use this time to do that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to put a positive spin on this video because I am with you guys in not being able to get up off the couch most days, right? This has been my safe haven right here. So obviously it's ideal, these things I'm suggesting. If it's just to give you guys some ideas of when you're ready and when you want to push yourself to do something a little bit better with your day, these are some good options that I'm personally going to try to do. And I realize how annoying this video might be for some people, and that's okay. I totally understand. And I understand how privileged this might be, like might come across, because my life is not in shambles from this right now. I know so many of you have lost so much in this current situation, and I totally understand that, and I understand how privileged this can come across, that I can just sit here, make a video and make money on it and call it my job right now in this, you know, situation. But just because we're creators does not mean we're immune to the anxiety that we're feeling from this whole thing and what is happening in the world right now. We are people at the end of the day. We have people we care about and love and that we're worried about. And that's honestly where my anxiety stems from. It's not even really about myself. It's about my family and it's about my parents specifically. So I just want you to know that all is not normal with me just because my lifestyle hasn't really changed. It's not normal, and that's okay, right? No one is really acting normal right now. And if they are, that's, you know, good for them, I guess, that they can put those things that's happening in the world aside and focus on, you know, day-to-day life. But some days it's really hard to do that. If you are getting through these days then I am proud of you. If you are just getting out of bed and brushing your teeth, I'm proud of you. If that is all you can do, that is okay. I want to give you this permission. Not that I'm of anyone to give permission to anybody, but I just want to remind you guys that it's okay to not be doing things right now, to not be productive, to not be focusing on yourself and like self-growth and things like that. It's okay. It's okay to have anxiety about this right now. In fact, it's normal to have anxiety about this right now. You know, obviously when you're ready, try to do some things that'll eventually make you feel a little bit better, right? We could read a lot of books right now in this time, but if you're not generally a reader, obviously that's gonna take some effort. And some days that's way too much to ask. This is a very scary time for people who suffer with mental illness, and we just need to be there for each other and remind each other that just getting through the day is just fine. So I want you to take this time to rest your mind as much as possible. It is okay to just rest. Take this time to rest. Focus on the great things that are around you, because I guarantee you are surrounded by amazing things, and do not take those things for granted. I really want this video to be a place where we can all chat in the comments, where we can hang out and talk about our feelings about all of this. It is a safe space here, and I want you to feel comfortable here. If you need an outlet to talk, it's here. So also, if you want to share some ideas of what you're using this time for in the comments, please do. Of course, we'll need more ideas. Some things might stand out to others, so definitely leave your best advice and tips down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.